Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, you grab your phone, you open your bank app, and you see the number zero. Not almost zero, not low, zero. No savings, no investments, no money put aside. Just you, your job, and the year 2025. For a lot of people, that thought alone already creates stress. And most people think that in this situation, the main problem is income. They think, if I just made more money, everything would be fine. But that's not true. The real problem when you start from zero is that you don't have room to make mistakes. When you have no buffer, every mistake hurts more. Every bad decision costs more. Every emergency feels bigger. That's why the first thing I would do is slow everything down. I would not rush. I would not try to be smart. I would not try to be fast. Speed feels good, but speed is dangerous when you have nothing to fall back on. If I had to start from zero today, I would not open an investing app right away. I would not buy stocks because the market is hot. I would not buy crypto because someone online says it's going up. I would not look for hacks, secrets, or shortcuts. I would focus on doing the simple things right, in the right order, because the order matters more than the details. Most people don't fail because they choose bad investments. They fail because they choose investments too early. They skip the boring steps. They want the reward without the preparation. They copy people who already have money and don't see the protection behind the scenes. Those people can afford to be wrong. When you start from zero, you can't. So before anything else, the goal is stability. Not growth, not returns. Stability. You want to be able to live your life without constant financial stress. You want to be able to handle problems without panic. That's the base everything else is built on. The first thing I would build is an emergency fund. This is just money sitting in cash, not invested, not growing, just sitting there. And I know that sounds boring, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do. Life always finds ways to surprise you. Your car breaks. Your phone stops working. Your landlord raises the rent. Your hours at work get cut. These things are normal. They happen to everyone. Without cash, these situations force you into bad choices. You use credit cards. You borrow money. You sell investments at the worst possible time. One small problem turns into a long-term setback. So I would start with a very simple goal. $1,000. That's it. Not because it's magic, but because it creates breathing room. It turns panic into inconvenience. That first $1,000 is not about being rich. It's about staying calm. It's about sleeping better. It's about knowing that if something small goes wrong, your entire plan doesn't collapse. After that, I would slowly build that fund to cover 3 to 6 months of basic living costs. Just the basics. Rent, food, insurance, transport. Nothing fancy. This is your safety net. And once you have it, everything feels different. When that safety net is in place, the next step is dealing with high-interest debt. This part is critical. High-interest debt is like a hole in the bucket. You can pour money in, but it keeps leaking out. Credit cards and personal loans grow quietly in the background. You don't feel it day to day, but over time they destroy progress. If a credit card charges 20% interest, that means your debt is growing very fast. Faster than most investments grow. So trying to invest while carrying that debt is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. Paying off that debt is not boring. It's smart. It's one of the strongest financial moves you can make. It's a guaranteed win. I would focus on the debt with the highest interest first, even if it feels slow, even if it doesn't feel exciting, because numbers don't care about feelings. Math always wins in the end. There is one small exception during this phase. If your employer offers a retirement match, I would take it. Just enough to get the full match. No more. This is free money. You put in $1 and your employer adds $1. Instantly. That's a 100% return. Nothing else comes close to that. After taking the match, I would go straight back to paying off debt. Once high-interest debt is gone, something big changes. You stop losing money in the background. You stop fighting against yourself. For the first time, your money can actually move forward. This is the point where people start to feel progress. And this is where patience really matters. Now the focus shifts from survival to slow, steady growth. And the next thing I would think about is taxes. Taxes are sneaky. They don't feel painful in one moment. They slowly take a little piece every year. Over 20 or 30 years, that small piece becomes a huge amount. That's why tax protection matters so much. I would start with an IRA. You don't need to understand all the rules. You don't need to know every detail. Just remember this: money that grows without being taxed every year grows faster. It's like letting a snowball roll downhill without stopping it. Tax protection lets compounding do its job. If I qualify, I would also use a health savings account. Many people ignore this because it sounds boring or confusing, but it's actually very simple. You put money in and get a tax benefit. The money grows without tax. And when you use it for medical costs, you don't pay tax when you take it out. The simple way to use it is to pay medical bills with cash if you can afford it, save the receipts, and let the HSA money grow. Later in life, that money can be used tax-free. It's slow but powerful. After that, I would slowly increase how much I put into my workplace retirement plan. Not all at once, not aggressively, just steady and consistent. Time is your biggest advantage here. The earlier you start, the less effort you need later. Only after all of this would I think about using a normal investment account. Normal accounts are fine, but they are taxed every year. That tax slows growth. You don't see it right away, but over decades it really matters. Now we finally get to investing, and this is where most people think everything starts, but really, it starts much earlier. There are two main paths you can take, and both can work if you stick with them. The first path is global index investing. This is the simplest path. You don't try to be clever. You don't try to predict the future. You buy a small piece of the entire global market. This way, you don't need to know which country or company will win. You accept that the future is unknown. You invest regularly, every month, no matter what the news says. Good times, bad times, it doesn't matter. The biggest mistake people make is reacting to fear. Consistency beats panic every time. The second path is real estate. This path is more work. You need to learn more. You need to be more careful, but it offers leverage. You can control a large asset with a smaller amount of your own money. If property prices rise, you benefit from the full value. You can also earn monthly income, but real estate is not forgiving. Guessing doesn't work. Hope doesn't work. You need patience and preparation. And no one succeeds in real estate alone. You need people who understand the process. Yes, they cost money, but mistakes cost far more. So let me end with this. Wealth is not about being clever or fast. It's about doing things in the right order and staying consistent for a long time. Most people fail because they rush and skip steps. If I had to start from zero in 2025, I wouldn't chase fast wins. I would focus on staying in the game, because if you can stay in the game long enough, time will do the hard work for you. That is how real wealth is built.